After hitting the Francis Scott Key Bridge, in Baltimore, upon losing power twice, and thus plunging a huge section of the bridge into the Patapsco River, this Dali container vessel has been stuck at the accident scene for hours, and we're here to highlight to you 8 reasons why it might stay like that for a couple of days, and in the process, show you why it can't entangle itself from its mess that easily. But before we get to the numbers, perhaps you might have already noticed in this aerial view, that the whole of the ship's bow is covered in a huge chunk of debris, with the same being parts of what used to be the bridge, that is steel trusses, and steel reinforced concrete, and by the way this brings us to the first reason why the ship can't move. So, number 1, the ship can't move because it's covered in heavy debris, that's blocking its way. 2, it can't move because it hit a steel reinforced pillar, which acts as a stopper, or rather forceful anchor, and is blocking its way as well. 3, moving the ship might damage it more, especially its bow, which is highly likely stuck in, or surrounded with concrete, steel bars and rods under the waters. 4, a slight move can lead to the ship being pierced, and the same will result in water leaking inside, thus leading to the ship capsizing. 5, the ship is faulty, and considering the fact that it hit the bridge because it lost control, there's no guarantee that it will be stable on the waters when it starts moving, and thus it can't be moved. 6, it must stay in its place for insurance companies to do their investigations, and get their figures right, and determine who is liable. 7, another group of people that will need it to remain in this position for them to do some investigations are police officers, and in addition to it being reported as an accident, the destruction of the key public infrastructure calls for investigations to determine whom to charge. 8, since it's faulty, it must stay like that, for another rescue ship, and a floating crane, to come, and have the containers it's carrying, offloaded to it, for safe delivery of the goods it's carrying. Then talking of a floating crane, or rather sea crane, the same will be needed, for the removal of the heavy steel and steel reinforced concrete debris on the ship's bow, and once the crane has cleared the debris off the ship's bow, it will either help rescue ships have it easy while towing it from the crash site, or if it's big enough, it will just carry that thing away like this mammoth crane.